In the early 90s, there was a Chamber of Horrors match where they literally electrocuted you in the middle of a cage. Tell me about that.
They couldn't beat me, right? So they had to come with another gimmick. Dusty Rhodes was the booker. He said, I got something heavy for you. Got you in the thing, the electric chair. You're going to grab the guy. You're going to put him in the electric chair. You holler up the Cactus Jack before he could turn the button, push a button. And I had him. He turned me around real fast, pushed me in there, and he pushed the button, right? They locked my wrist and everything, and also I'm being electrocuted.
Hello, and welcome to Grapple City Rewind, taking you all the way back to the iconic pay-per-views and television specials that shaped pro wrestling history. That little clip at the beginning was Abdullah the Butcher from the YouTube page Going Ringside back in 2023. We played it because this week we're rewinding to October 27th, 1991. WCW rolled into Chattanooga, Tennessee for Halloween Havoc Chamber of Horrors. It was a night of spooky stage sets and probably some overbooked finishes by Dusty, and one of the most infamous gimmick matches in wrestling history, complete with coffins, referees, helmet cams, and of course
ghouls,
ghosts, and an electric chair in the middle of the ring at one point. But it wasn't all tricks. There were some treats on the card. Dusty Rhodes, Steve Austin, Brian Pillman in there. Grab your candy, dim the lights, get ready to visit WCW's version of a haunted house, because this rewind will be Halloween Havoc 91. But before we get into the rewind, as always, I'm Bradley Palermo here with Aaron Fink. And Aaron, what are we going to talk about on the current product today? It looks like we've got a little WWE Perth action happening this week.
Yeah, we do. It's Crown Jewel Perth, yeah. There's only 4 matches announced, but I figured we could talk about them real quick, see how we're feeling, take our temperatures on them. First one listed, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins for the Crown Jewel Championship. It's champion versus champion. I mean, it'll be a good match. They're trying to make me care. I don't really care because they're just kind of throwing it together. And, you know, Cody doesn't really have a feud right now. Seth's feuding with everyone right now. So feels a little tacked on, but I understand it's part of their shtick now. Like, we're doing the best of the best at Crown Jewel every year. So
it kind of degrades one of your world championships to have that champion beat, I guess.
Yeah. And, you know, I kind of feel like Cody has to lose because Seth has lost to Cody 3 times in a row. They've wrestled each other 3 times in the last 3 years, and he's lost every one. So probably a shenanigan finish.
I was going to say, you just bring out all the fools that he rolls with, the Vision, and then, you know, Cody has an out. I guess I agree with you that Cody has to lose. Cody's reign is kind of getting boring, tiresome.
Well, it's like his second reign, right? You know, like but even then, yeah, if you look at it as one whole thing, it's just okay. Like there really wasn't anything spectacular. I blame The Rock, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Second match on the card, Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton, another champion versus champion match. Again, I love Stephanie Vaquer. I am indifferent about Tiffany Stratton. I feel like her championship run has also been kind of lackluster, and
I forgot she was a champion. Yeah,
they just haven't really done much with her. They haven't put her in any really solid feuds. I don't know why. I mean, she had that match with Charlotte Flair, which was pretty good at WrestleMania, but she's kind of been gone since then. I haven't really.
Wasn't she a part of that 3-way huge botch on SmackDown? Where
she was, with Nia Jax and Jade Cargill. Yeah, that was an unfortunate situation. Nia seems to get herself in these situations often. I don't want to talk shit about Nia, but
hey, we're podcasters. We're here to talk shit, but I I don't know if it was Naya's fault or what was supposed to happen, but it was a weird little clusterfuck.
It's just bad timing. Yeah. And I think everyone was not on the same page. And like, there's just Naya's the one with the most experience in that situation. So there's not really anything she could have done. She's laying on the mat. She probably should have kicked out, but
okay. So for anyone listening who didn't see it, there was a 3-way match with Tiffany Stratton, Naya, and Jade Cargill. And there was some sort of pin situation where
Jade was pinning Naya, and then Tiffany kicked Jade off. Jade went out to the outside of the ring. Tiffany pinned Naya, and the referee, it was not supposed to be the finish, so the referee didn't count to 3, and Naya did not get her shoulder up until like 3 seconds after what would have been the 3 count.
And made this production still like she kicked out with her shoulder up. But it was like way after, and the whole crowd is like, ooh.
No good.
But someone said that, I mean, this is just people online, that when Jade was thrown off of Naya, that she was supposed to pull the ref by the feet to stop the count. And she never, so Naya wasn't supposed to kick out, but Jade sweeps the ref away, and then the third count never happened.
Yeah, either that or she was supposed to interrupt the pin, I would assume.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then Naya was supposed to lay there. I mean, Jade is there's a reason her name is Jade. She's forever green.
So okay, third match that's listed for Crown Jewel is John Cena versus AJ Styles. I'm sure it's going to be a great match. There has been zero buildup for this match. It just happened online because the internet was like, face AJ Styles, John Cena. And Cena was like, oh, you want to do that? What do you think, Triple H? And Triple H was like, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I noticed, I was like watching wrestling in the middle of the night, just kind of like in and out, that why do all these old dudes talk the same? Like,
do they?
Triple H, Vince McMahon, there's a few more, but when you look away, you're like, which dude, which older wrestler guy talks like, they all kind of...
Yeah, they've done a lot of screaming.
I guess that's what it is. Yeah.
Shit, I guess.
So who do you think's going to win on that John Cena, AJ Styles?
Honestly, I don't know, because if it was anybody else but AJ Styles and they were like a younger wrestler, I would say the younger wrestler. But because it's AJ and he's going to retire in a year, like, I feel like Cena's probably going to win. I
feel like Cena mostly has been just fighting legends on his way out, which is...
Yeah.
You'd think it would be like a string of the next generation. I mean, that's what he was doing for years, I guess, up until now.
Yeah.
But
well, he's still got to... So the reason why there's no buildup and they haven't made anything out of this is not only because I don't think they were planning it, but also Cena's only contracted for like 4 more appearances, including this one, or maybe 5, including this one at Crown Jewel. So
he's not going to come around and feud and do all that. This is just kind of like...
I wish he would, but he's not going to. Fourth match listed is Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. And, they've at least tried to make a story out of this one. They've been doing stuff on Raw the past few weeks with them. And so there's like a little bit there. I wish that Io was a little bit better with like acting, it showing real emotion, because every time she like has to be sad or upset, she looks like she's trying really hard to do that. And I love Io. I think she's amazing, but the acting could use a little bit of work. I'm going to watch this PLE because I watched them all, but so far I'm kind of underwhelmed by this one.
We'll be back after a quick break.
And this episode has been brought to you by Weber for Law, your tag team partner when life body slams you out of nowhere. If you've been injured in an accident, motorcycle, car, dog bite, slip and fall, or even if you've been hit in the head with a flying steel chair, these are the guys to call. They've got knockout reviews on Google, a killer track record, and they always fight for the win. I can testify to that personally. Weber for Law took care of me, and they will take care of you too. Don't wait. Visit weberforlaw.com. That's WEBER, the number 4, law.com, or call 818-502-9200. That's 818-502-9200. Weber for Law. your tag team partner when life body slams you out of nowhere. Yeah, I mean, Rhea in her home country, she's probably got to win, right? I mean,
I
if I
think.
have to predict, I'm going to go John Cena needs a win after that Brock Lesnar thing. I'll go with John Cena. I'll go
Mhm.
with Rhea. I'll go with what were the other ones that I have in front of me right now?
Cody and Seth, we said Seth, we think. And
I'll
then,
agree with you on Seth. Yeah.
Stephanie and Tiffany, I feel like Stephanie's got to win.
I feel like Stephanie needs to keep her momentum. So
Yeah.
Stephanie for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Anything else going on in the current world of pro wrestling before we get into the rewind?
Yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying NXT and specifically what they've been doing with TNA lately. I know that Tuesday of this coming week, there's going to be like a special NXT with some like an NXT versus TNA situation. I think that'll be fun. And then on the weekend, the same weekend as Crown Jewel, we get TNA's Bound for Glory. And there's actually a few matches there that I'm kind of stoked about. Javon Evans from NXT, who's been great lately, just super incredible, very talented, very high flying. He's going to face Leon Slater, who's another young, very talented, high flying guy. Kalani Jordan from NXT is the TNA Knockouts champion, and she's going to face Indy Hartwell. I think that should be good also. And then the main event should be Trick Williams, who's the TNA champion, but obviously an NXT wrestler, against Mike Santana. So those will all be good. I'm also curious, like morbidly curious about the Hardys versus Team 3D in a tables match.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
They're all old, but
yeah, we just watched those two.
Maybe it'll be fun to see them. Yeah, right. We just saw them in Royal Rumble 2000 and they're going to have the same match again. We'll see. I don't know.
Oh yeah, this was TNA Invasion, but they had to change the name because someone got offended.
Boy.
That's pretty ridiculous.
So yeah, there's a lot of good wrestling coming this coming weekend. I'm excited. I'll be watching WWE and TNA, and hopefully no crazy botches. Hopefully people get caught when they do high flying.
Yeah, I think I might tune in to all that because it is kind of fun that they've combined the companies so closely at this point. I think they're doing Survivor Series matches, right? Is that?
Yeah, on NXT on Tuesday, it's basically like Survivor Series matches.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be fun.
And now it's time for the rewind.
So it was October 27th, 1991, as I mentioned, at the UTC Arena in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Attendance of nearly 9,000. They announced 9,000. Commentary was Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone. Booker was Dusty Rhodes. And this was, of course, Halloween Havoc 1991. We've got 11 matches, 4 of which are title matches. We've got an opening presentation of like spooky thunder and music, cartoons, haunted house silliness with like ghostly wrestler overlays. So like,
oh my God,
Luger would come out all translucent and white, and then his image would whisk off the screen, and then it would be, another one of the Abdullah the Butcher or whoever. Promos were teasing the WCW Phantom, who would be revealed later, and Dusty Rhodes' booking fingerprints were everywhere. He's known for like some crazy gimmick matches, like he created Hell in a Cell. No, he created War Games.
War Games, yeah,
and,
which is a great concept.
Yeah, it is. The Chamber of Horrors.
Chamber of Horrors,
not so much. So yeah, this is fun. I wanted something weird last week in celebration of the month of October. I wanted something weird and spooky, and this is what I found. This is the weirdest thing I could find is a guy getting electrocuted on the screen. I should mention that Eric Bischoff is there as well. He's dressed as Dracula, and
he's an interviewer.
And so is Missy Hyatt. She's handling ringside interviews. But let's just get right into it. The very first match is the most infamous match of this pay-per-view. It is the Chamber of Horrors match. So I guess is it 2 teams or is it just every man from 2 teams? So it's Sting, El Gigante, and the Steiner brothers, right? On one side. Then the other side is Big Van Vader, Cactus Jack, Abdullah the Butcher, and the Diamond Stud, who is
Scott Hall, Razor Ramon.
Ramon, yeah.
Yeah.
With pre-Razor Ramon, Scott Hall.
El Gigante is also Giant Gonzalez. I'm sure you noticed. There's only so many 7'5" Latin dudes.
Yeah, I saw him. He was on like the little promo in the beginning with the ghosts coming by. There was like a, yeah. Oh yeah, El Gigante. I said that wrong. Sorry. Yeah. So the stipulation is it's a cage match, kind of like a Hell in the Cell. It's a huge cage that extends beyond the side of the ring. Extends beyond ringside a little bit, and there's another cage in the cage that has a electric chair, like an old Fry a Criminal electric chair with a thing that goes down on your head and everything.
Yeah.
And you have to get someone from the other side to go into the electric chair, strap them down, and then pull the lever that's outside of that little cage. Have your teammate pull that lever and execute your opponent for your team to win.
They didn't really. What's funny about this is like they never said it was an electric chair. They like, what do they call it? They called it the chair of torture.
Yeah,
and they're like, they got to flip the switch and then the match is over. But they weren't like he's gonna fry. They're gonna kill this man.
Right, but I mean, this is very implied. It was very weird. The thing is, like, there's so much steel and so many dudes in there, and the way that the cameras. There's the camera, obviously, like the hard cam. The camera's outside of the cage, and then the referee has like this GoPro type device, a la 1991.
Yeah, helmet. They called the referee camera. God, that was the stupidest name.
So yeah, that's like your view inside, and there's just a shit ton of dudes. You can't tell who's on whose team, and you really can't tell what they're doing. It's like I think they have like sticks and stuff, and weapons and
coffins,
handcuffs.
Yeah.
Have you noticed? They were calling the coffins caskets, and in AEW like a couple weeks ago, they were calling the casket a coffin. I feel like these wrestlers, they need to realize the casket is the fancy four-sided box that looks kind of nice, and the coffin is like the developing world, like old school, like put them in a
like Wild West, put them in a box. Yeah,
like with 6 sides. But wrestling always gets it wrong because they were like, "There's a casket. They've got caskets." I'm like, "There's not a casket in this building. There's coffins."
Did you notice the random masked man who came out of one of the coffins?
Oh yeah,
there was random dude. I don't know who it was. I didn't look it up. I kind of feel like it was Terry Funk because I got like one good look at his nose and I was like, that looks like a Funk nose to me. But who knows? If there was anybody who would randomly be in this match with Mick Foley as Cactus Jack, I feel like it'd be Terry Funk.
Yeah. So I like how JR mentioned that there were 2,600 pounds of men in the ring.
Yes, so it was reinforced. That was
so it was reinforced. Yeah, I was like, I wonder if that's a real number he bothered coming up with.
Abdullah's like 475.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, he's skinny nowadays, but yeah, back then it's crazy. So yes, this is widely considered to be one of the worst pay-per-view matches ever. It was pretty bad. Okay, so
it was a mess.
Basically, what you kind of heard Abdullah saying at the beginning, he was supposed to. His partner Cactus Jack believed that the Butcher had Scott Steiner in this chair, and he called to him to pull the lever. And then Cactus Jack, while he's like trying to climb up and figure out the lever, which was turned to on from the start of the match. It was incorrectly positioned.
Did you also see that the switch like fell down and someone had to come in and like tape it back to where it was supposed to be?
Dude, it was like a whole clusterfuck. So but finally Scott Steiner turned around, got Abdullah in when Cactus Jack figured it out, pulled the lever, and then you get like a fireworks show, strobe lights.
And Abdullah feigning like he's being electrocuted.
Like he's like shaking like he's being electrocuted. He's already been busted open, so it looks like very gnarly, like he's being shocked and like blood's coming out all over the place. And the ring's on fucking fire. I mean, it goes out. I don't know. The actual moment where the explosion happened, it did feel like someone's getting electrocuted, which is horrifying.
Probably shocking if you were there. And like a kid or whatever.
Yeah, and then there's smoke everywhere, and then the lights go dark, and there's strobe lights, and they zoom in on him, and he's breathing and slobbering,
right?
And you're like, okay, well, at least you didn't execute this guy, because it seems like that's what happens when you put someone in an electric chair and pull the lever. And then they have on the side of the cage, they have a bunch of dudes with gurneys with their faces painted white, like
Yeah, they were ghouls. They were the ghouls ready to take whoever was electrocuted away on a stretcher.
Yeah, to take away the body, but he comes out and fucks them up. He still
Yeah.
fights to show that not only is he not dead, not only did he survive the electric chair, he can still fight. So
Wild man from the Sudan.
So I suppose that Sting, El Gigante, and the Steiners won that one, even though
They did, yeah.
they didn't successfully electrocute the other guy. The team electrocuted themselves, but
Did you notice that when the chair of torture was lowered, that they were like playing creepy music in the arena? Like that shit cracked me up. This is the cheesiest thing I've ever seen. And my wife was watching it with me and she was like, this is like peak wrestling, isn't it? And I was like, I don't know if this is peak. It's peak goofy shit. And she was like, well, that's what I mean.
yeah. I know some people, they just like, they feel like, well, that's what wrestling is, just stupid. That's what it's supposed to be. I'm like, no, there's
legit stuff
even
too.
this era, like there was a lot of really cool stuff, legitimate stuff, but there's a line with how much goofiness I like, and wrestling kind of oscillates between being way above it and sort of just right on it. But what did you think that Dave Meltzer gave this?
Oh my God. Probably like a 1.75.
-2.
I didn't know he goes negative. Wait, seriously?
One of the lowest rated matches of the 90s from Meltzer.
Amazing.
He did give another match. I looked up lowest Meltzer rating of the 90s. And there was one where he gave it like -300 or something. Hopefully we can see that match too someday.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
The lowest rating he's ever given out is -459.6 stars. So
-400 stars.
yeah.
My God.
But he gave -2 for this one. I didn't really know he did that either. And
yeah,
then,
this was quite a way to start off this pay-per-view. This thing was a mess from start to finish, but like mostly in a funny way. And then the finish to me just was stupid, but such is life. And then our second match was the Mysterious Creatures, don't know who these guys are, versus PN News and Big Josh.
boo.
Yeah, this was a stinker. I guess it was a standard tag match. PN News is a very, very large man and kind of had like a hip hop aesthetic going on. He was rapping a little bit, but when he came to the ring,
That's why I did the boo, because he did like the worst hip hop rap
I know his rap was bad,
like ever, and it wasn't even to the beat that was playing in the arena. It was like off rhythm. Like in the 80s and 90s, there's kind of like a Full House style of rap where, like sitcoms would do it and shit, where they just be like, my name is Brad and I am very rap. I am cool and I am no fool. And it was like, he was like that,
Yes.
like really, really bad.
Did you notice who Big Josh was?
No.
Did you look it up? Big Josh is Matt Bourne.
Really?
Yeah, Matt Bourne, for those who are listening.
How did that get past me?
The original Doink the Clown, this Big Josh. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, this guy looks kind of familiar, and then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, it's Matt Bourne. I did not look up who Creature 1 and 2 are. I bet you there are some people that we might know, but
I think I looked it up, but it didn't seem familiar.
yeah, so this one came about as quickly as it went. It was about 5 minutes long, completely forgettable. PN News and Big Josh as characters never went anywhere, and the Mysterious Creatures were in masks, so I didn't even know who they were. Okay. Joseph Magliano and Johnny Rich. Johnny Rich sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of what I came to last time. Like, I don't even know now that I'm looking at it. I don't really get it.
Like, who are these guys?
Oh, by the way, that match got a 0.5 star from Dave Meltzer, which so far I'm kind of agreeing with him a little bit here.
Yeah.
Third match, Bobby Eaton versus Terrence Taylor, the York Foundation. Is that right?
Yeah, I think him and someone else on this pay-per-view were being managed by Alexandra York, and she had a bunch of dudes that we've seen before, but they all have like their full names. Like Terrence Taylor is Terry Taylor, who is now one of the behind the scenes agents or producers at WWE, very well known. Everybody who works at WWE loves Terry Taylor, and that's what he was called for a really long time. But in this group, he was Terrence Taylor. So
Yeah. And then Bobby Eaton is obviously from the Midnight Express. So they
Yep. Bobby, I think, wins best hair, maybe. If not him, then Ricky Morton later. They both had luscious blonde mullets.
And they both still do, right?
They do,
well,
yeah.
Well, Bobby Eaton's dead, but Ricky Morton has the
he
mullet.
Still has his mullet, yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I really like this match. I thought this was super solid, technical wrestling, also hard hitting. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and it wasn't short either. It was like 15 minutes. So yeah, I have nothing but positive things to say. I like both these guys. What do you think?
Yeah, this is the reason I really love early WCW is when they do these kind of like solid old school matches.
Super athletic. Yeah, I like these mid-card matches. Fairly good.
Right, Eaton, working the crowd. There's some flying offense in there too. I mean, it wasn't like fast paced, but the finish was it the Alabama Jam leg drop off the top rope?
Leg drop from the top rope, and Bobby Eaton wins. I thought it was very good. I was like, okay, this is turning it around. Maybe it's not all going to be as bad as the Chamber of Horrors.
Yeah, I mean, this is fine, but also I was like, okay, you finally erased all this Halloween shit, and now you're getting into like what I like about you. I mean, you could have had things kind of Halloweenish, but not as, I don't know, as far as it went. I mean,
just over the top. Dusty was on a little too much LSD.
I think so. Do you know that you've seen that pay-per-view from WWF where they hung Big Boss Man in the middle of a cage?
I don't know if I've seen it, but I've heard about it.
They hung him, like I was just watching random Peacock, and when I first saw it a few years ago, they just hang him in the middle. I mean, right in the middle of the arena, and it fades to black with Boss Man like, dead on a rope. I was
that's the end of the pay-per-view?
Yeah. And it's like,
holy shit.
I think it was Undertaker who put him up there, and then
that is like, dark.
This reminds me of that. Like it's just really weird and dark. And but that was this is a little more campy, I guess, because the guy, got back up. But yeah, that one was a we don't have to give the Meltzer rating on everything, but
let's do it. Yeah, this should be like a 3 or a 3.5.
Okay, it was a 3. Yeah. So he was doing pretty agreeable ratings as far as I'm concerned back then. The fourth match, we got Jimmy Garvin with Michael Hayes versus Johnny B. Bad with Teddy Long in his corner.
Yep.
So Jimmy Garvin versus Johnny B. Bad.
The first thing I noticed was when Johnny B. Bad comes out, he's, obviously very flamboyant. He's supposed to be like a Little Richard type character. He had some kind of like special effects thing when he did like his like robe flourish. He had like these things that I think were supposed to like shoot out smoke or streamers or something, and they didn't work. And it just reminded me like there was so much throughout this pay-per-view where they had like these effects. And they just like didn't work at all. Like in the beginning with the Chamber of Horrors, like the WCW logo was supposed to be on fire, and it was like just like a little bit of fire here and there. It's production value, Dusty. Come on.
That stage setup was like the entrance ramp was pretty bad too. Like it looked like a haunted house that the grade school made a haunted house, and they all got together.
It cost like $25. Yeah,
painted poster boards and stuff, and then there was. There was like styrofoam gravestones.
Yeah, with all the dumb shit written on them. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like somebody went to Party City like right before it started. And I was like,
I was surprised at how much, how pro Freebirds the crowd was. Because like, as far as I remember, Freebirds are usually heels, but I guess in this match they were not. Johnny B. Bad definitely was not the crowd's favorite. So I don't know, the Freebirds are doing the Atlanta Braves like chop thing, and everybody loved that.
Yeah, I guess they're getting close to their home turf.
Yeah, Chattanooga, I guess, is very close to Atlanta, so they were all Braves fans.
Peanut Head, he's a reoccurring character in these eras.
But when they call him the Godfather now, the Godfather Teddy Long. I mean, they called him Peanut Head too later when he was like being an asshole, but this was just fine to me. Garvin smacked Johnny B. Bad with an elbow real good, like towards the beginning of the match. And I just thought it was funny that commentary was just kind of shitting all over Bad. Like, well, he's a very inexperienced rookie and he's doing things that I would never do. And I'm like,
Yeah.
geez, why are you being so mean to Mark Merrow? I mean, he kind of sucks, but like,
Yeah.
pretty funny.
That's funny.
There was also Johnny B. Bad had this really weird sunset flip that he tried to do from the top rope. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
Like he tried to do a sunset flip from the top rope, which I feel like is a terrible idea to begin with. And then it just didn't look good at all. They kind of botched it. And I was like, what is
Yeah.
going on here? You know, like this is just kind of a sloppy match. I guess maybe Mark Merrow, Johnny B. Bad was fairly new because he didn't really do a whole lot. And, you know, Jimmy Garvin is like, by this point, him and Michael Hayes as the Freebirds had been around probably for like almost 10 years, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's like
So, you know,
shenanigans. Garvin pins Bad, but like
the ref is distracted by
Teddy
Peanut
Long.
Head.
Yeah, and so Bad stole the win with the schoolboy roll up in like under 7 minutes for a 3/4 of a star from Meltzer.
Yep, that tracks. It
yeah.
was utterly forgettable. But the next match, we got to see Stunning Steve Austin versus Dustin Rhodes for the World Television Championship. And this to me was another super solid match. I, of course, know of Stunning Steve, you know, Austin as Stunning Steve, but I haven't seen a ton of Stunning Steve matches. I thought this was great. Austin is just like a beast, and it's so funny to watch Austin as Stone Cold in like 98 through 2002 or whatever. He never wrestled like this at all. Like this was like technically sound, fast paced. I mean, Dustin Rhodes has always been pretty good in my opinion, but like I was really impressed by Stunning Steve.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, you know, does Goldust and Stone Cold Steve Austin have many matches like later in the Attitude Era?
I don't know about a bunch, but they definitely have some.
Yeah. So it's cool to see, you know, two guys that would go on to be such a big
Completely
deal.
different characters,
And
yeah.
completely different and very like, you know, not I mean, I guess within that decade they would be those other WWF characters, but yeah, I was excited to see them, but like them just kind of being like old school solid wrestlers. And
it was another super solid mid-card thing.
yeah, and Dustin looks kind of awesome too. He looks like a fucking guy you wouldn't want to mess with. Like,
and he looks so much like Dusty back then too, with the haircut and everything. Like the one thing about him being Goldust is like you never saw his face, so you didn't really know he was a Rhodes.
Yeah.
Especially when I was a kid, I was like, "Oh, who is this weird guy?" You know, like I didn't know. Oh, that's Dustin Rhodes. It's Dusty's son.
I noticed, like, just from watching random Stunning Steve Austin matches over the years, like you know, and when he was tagging, what was it, the Hollywood Blondes? Is that was the tag team? Yeah,
yeah.
They were doing like a lot of stuff, like him off the top rope, and he's like landing on his knees and stuff. Like, I think he probably cashed out a lot of body parts.
Out. Yeah,
that the style change probably was for maybe his own safety, you know? Because
I mean, probably was. That was probably part of it, but I think really the main reason is because he knew he didn't have to do any of that anymore.
Yeah.
Like when he was Stone Cold, the character was so over. All he had to do was punch, kick, stunner, drink a beer, stunner. I'm out of there. Like he barely had to do anything, and he was so over. So I mean, you're probably right. Like he was doing stuff that I just never saw him do as Stone Cold, and you'd have to imagine that part of that was because he had done it so much in the past.
Yeah.
His body was a little worn out. Dustin got busted open from a punch from Austin, I think. I don't know if Dustin actually busted himself open or not. I feel like it might have been a hard way bleed.
Yeah, I don't know. All of a sudden there was just, juice, so I'm not sure.
The one thing I didn't like that Dustin was doing, he pinned Austin like 4 or 5 times, and he kept like slamming his hand down on the mat, counting with the referee. And I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, pin him for real, you stupid idiot.
Yeah, let the ref do the count, right?
Yeah, like it just, I don't know. It took me out of it. Like, I understand he's trying to be a baby face and trying to rile up the crowd or whatever, but like it just took me out of it psychology wise, because I'm like, if you're trying to win, you need to actually like hook a leg, you know, like make it seem like your pin is legitimate.
Yeah. He was 21 at this point, which is pretty crazy.
Super crazy.
I noticed that because sometimes in this era, not so much. Well, I guess we do see maybe we do see more diverse crowds. I was seeing like the grandmas, and
Mm-hmm.
the crowd wasn't just like all white people. Like it was pretty mixed.
Yeah.
Mixed bunch of folks down there in Chattanooga. I always like to try to get a vibe for like who's there. Is it all just like, you know, teenagers saying suck it, or is it like, do you have the ground, like this area you still have like the entire family, you know?
Yeah.
People,
Although I do feel like I heard the women, like the girls, like screaming more than anything else as far as crowd noise goes.
yeah.
Um,
Back when women still went to wrestling. Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah. So this match was great. It ended in a time limit draw. I guess it was a 15-minute time limit, which was normal for the television championship. So as a result of that, Austin retained the championship. But again, like a super solid mid-card match. And you know, a part of me wishes that Stone Cold wrestled a bit like Stunning Steve, but such is life. Oh, wait, what did Meltzer give Austin versus Rhodes? Hopefully like a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, you're pretty good. Pretty good, Aaron. It's 3.5.
Okay. Yeah.
So, wow. So, yeah. And then, okay. So then it's Oz versus Bill Kazmaier. Oh, Bill Kazmaier.
Yeah.
Versus Oz. Oz is, and if you've never heard Kevin Nash talk about this on the random documentaries, it's pretty fucking funny. But Oz is Kevin Nash, later known as Diesel. So you have a guy who's going to be Razor Ramon in the future. Now you have the guy who's going to be Diesel in the future, or some may know him as Big Daddy Diesel or some shit. I don't know.
But people also know them as Scott Hall and Kevin Nash because of coming back to WCW. But my God, this was bad.
Yeah, but this is he's not. The story goes like Dusty was like, "You're gonna be Oz," and he was like, "You mean the Wizard of Oz?" Like Oz is the name of like the city.
Yeah, the city.
He was like, "No, Oz, baby." So,
Oz, baby.
yeah, so he's just wearing this is
just wearing green.
You know, obviously Kevin Nash, the fucking huge, tall guy.
Yeah, he's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, and he's just a tall white guy in a big fucking green robe. And that makes him Oz. Emerald green.
And emerald green tights. Yeah. And then Bill Kazmaier, I had never heard of before, but I guess he was like a strong man, and at one point was kind of like had the same distinction as Mark Henry. I guess he was the world's strongest man for something, some sort of lifting.
So his entrance.
I don't think Kazmaier. Yeah.
How about that entrance?
Tell them about the entrance.
I mean, he comes in with this large ball that's painted like a globe. Large.
He's carrying the earth.
Like 5 feet long ball. And he's carrying it on his shoulders. He's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders because he's the world's strongest man.
This was very short and not very good. I think it was just under 4 minutes. Completely forgettable, and I can see why Kevin Nash doesn't want anybody to know that he was Oz.
It was Bill Kazmaier put Kevin Nash in a torture rack submission on his shoulders. I believe that's what that's called.
1.5. That's what I say.
Dud.
Okay, yeah, that tracks. I'm being too nice.
That's like, I guess dud is 0 stars, but at least you're not negative, you know?
Right.
Van Hammer versus Doug Summers. Summers,
yeah.
Yeah. Van Hammer versus Doug Summers. It was another squash. I don't know. Dude, these are getting like...
even shorter. It was a minute.
Yeah. It was this fucking Van Hammer guy. He's a play on like Van Halen.
Like, yeah, David Lee Roth.
His curly, like, mullety metal hair. And
he had an electric guitar that I don't think was real.
Like a fucking Flying V guitar. And he's just dicking around with that guitar. He comes out and
Doug Summers is already in the ring looking old and schlubby.
Yeah, no entrance. Yeah.
Nothing. This was like squash matches are usually not that exciting, but this was a vehemently bad squash match, like actively awful.
Yeah.
But the crowd liked Van Hammer.
Yeah, I never heard anything about that guy since.
He took off his shirt and all the girlies yelled,
"Oh
Van
my
Hammer,
God.
He's so tan."
He finished with a slingshot suplex, and then Meltzer gave it a
terrible slingshot. Like, did he fucking botch the suplex? It was like he tucked him, and they had like a gentle roll onto the mat.
God.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But you know what? They redeemed themselves after that one, because the next match was Brian Pillman versus Richard Morton, also known as Ricky Morton, for the inaugural WCW Light Heavyweight Championship. Sadly, the referee camera is back, and it was on top of Nick Patrick's stupid fucking head, and I hate Nick Patrick, and I always will, in case that wasn't clear.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's the dipshit from ECW that, like, intentionally counts.
From WCW, yeah.
Oh.
The one that we watched with NWO where, yeah, he's like, oh, my neck hurts. I'm going to count really, really slow. But then when NWO gets the pin, I'm going to count really fast. Like,
right, yeah. But he's, like, way smaller at this point.
Yeah,
so it took me a second. I was like, oh, that's fucking Nick Patrick.
He's a shithole.
He looks like Kenny Powers or one of those.
He does.
Yeah.
He does look like Kenny Powers.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, this match delivered. I mean, when I think of like a light heavyweight championship or like a light heavyweight class in boxing or whatever, it's usually just like a little faster, a little more exciting, you know, and I feel like this match delivered in that regard. Ricky or Richard was doing heelish stuff every time Brian got an advantage. Brian Pillman is like flying Brian at this point. He's not crazy Brian Pillman for like maybe 4 or 5 more years. But yeah, I thought this was a really solid match as well. Like, say what you will about all the crap in between, but a lot of these mid-card matches are very solid. Pillman wins with his signature crossbody off the top rope, and he is the first light heavyweight champion.
A championship that would be abandoned by WCW in 11 months. And
My God, that quick?
5 reigns. Yeah.
That's stupid. Like, it was a good idea. I mean, maybe they just didn't have enough people. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess later on they did the cruiserweight, right? Which is kind of the same idea.
Similar, certainly, yeah.
But
Did you like the match?
Yeah, I think it's always cool to see Pillman and Ricky Morton going in a singles match. It's not something I've seen that many times. These guys, I guess they won a tournament to get to this point in this match. So this was like the end of like a long series of matches to see who the first heavyweight champion would be. There was a lot of references to Japan and during this match. I guess WC in general in this pay-per-view, like WCW, I guess had a strong relationship with Japan.
With New Japan? Yeah, I think the next pay-per-view in their chronology was Starrcade, but I think the one after that was like a New Japan show that they did with WCW, and it was a lot of like WCW versus New Japan guys, or like WCW teaming up with a New Japan person in a tag match kind of stuff. They did that a few times throughout the early 90s, and I think it was pretty successful. I mean, they were selling out the Tokyo Dome, which is like 60,000 people. So maybe we'll have to watch one of those one of these days.
Oh, here I have my notes for that match. I said they're on the mat a lot. It's a little bit slow, but Pillman gets screams for every little move, clotheslines, drop kicks, anything, even the simple stuff. They just love them. Yeah. And refs got that stupid helmet on again. Poor guy. But you already mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay. But okay, back to what Meltzer gave this match. Yes, he gave it 3.
Okay.
So
he's the ones that are good, he's a little low, I think, in my opinion. But I understand. He's very discerning.
It's easy to be pissed off though after you've seen some of these matches, to be like kind of negative on the whole thing. But
yeah,
after that we get into the Halloween Phantom versus Tom Zank. Is it Zank? The Halloween Phantom is like dressed in a black,
like a Phantom of the Opera meets a luchador shit.
But you can like see enough through the mask to tell
see the mustache.
You see the mustache. If you know wrestling in this era, and also that body, you can kind of see. I mean, once you see the face, no one really has a body and a face like Ravishing Rick Rude. I mean, he's probably the skinniest muscle head you've ever seen. Like he's got like 0% body fat and just huge bulgy muscles everywhere. He's in this tight shirt. You're like
big lats.
Yeah, you're like that's. Okay, Ravishing Rick Rude.
Yeah,
they're not going to tell us that. Phantom, beat Zank or whatever in 1:27.
Obliterated him.
Yeah,
like Zank got like 2 moves in, and Rick Rude beats him with his signature, which is some kind of a neck breaker. I forget the name of it, but stinker. Yeah. This got to be a dud from Meltzer.
This was Rick Rude's WCW debut, I guess.
Oh shit! Okay, I guess that kind of makes more sense.
Would he be later unmasked by Paulie Dangerously, Paul Heyman, and presented as Rick Rude, which they probably I don't know. That was not a lot of build to that. Like, here's a mystery guy. Let's solve the mystery. But
yeah, I mean, well, they were talking about that. Who's the Phantom? Eric Bischoff and Missy Hyatt were like, Missy, who's the Phantom? Missy's like, oh, I know who the Phantom is, but I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Okay, this is stupid. Not more dumb, dusty Halloween shit.
When the finisher was Rick Rude's Rude Awakening, and they called
Rude
it
Awakening, right?
Yeah. So, Meltzer didn't rate this one. So
really?
It has an NR, which I don't know if he did that on purpose or if he just was like,
I hate it so much I refuse to even give it a
I
dud.
think he just didn't rate it. Yeah, I think he just didn't make it onto the newsletter. And then we got to the WCW World Tag Team Championship. So it's the Enforcers, Arn Anderson and Larry Zbyszko they're the champions, versus the Patriots, Todd Champion and Firebreaker Chip. Those are some dumbass
dudes. Who the fuck are these guys?
Dude, what the hell? Yeah.
I don't know, man. I literally wrote, who the fuck are the Patriots? LOL. Like, this match was fine, but not knowing either of those guys, I was like, yeah, go Arn and Larry, even though I'm not supposed to be rooting for you.
Yeah. That's what I said. I was like, it was classic tag team stuff. It was good. It was actually like a pretty good match. I mean,
yeah.
For having some, jabronis out there I never heard of in like American flag tights or whatever. Yeah, I mean, the Enforcers, of course, like work well as a unit, and
yeah, you can't deny Arn Anderson and Larry Zbyszko were incredible wrestlers. They had great timing. They knew how to get heat. Yeah, it wasn't a bad match. I just had zero emotional investment in Firebreaker Chip and Todd Champion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they went with their career, but I never heard of those names.
They're going nowhere.
But the fucking Enforcers were, it was kind of like, there was probably about 25 years age difference between the Enforcers and these Patriot guys.
Yeah, probably.
It was very much like veterans versus maybe 15, 20 years, but veterans versus like sort of these
young boys.
Yeah. The Enforcers, of course, retained with a double team spine buster, and Meltzer gave it a 2.
2.5. Oh,
2.
Okay.
Yeah, you're close.
Yeah. So now is when we get the shocking reveal that the Phantom is Rick Rude, because Paul E. Dangerously is interviewed on the ramp by Eric Bischoff. Paul's very upset. I guess WCW doesn't want him to be an announcer or an anchor or whatever. And so now he's like, well, I have my manager's license and I'm going to take this company apart brick by brick. And I'm going to start by going after Sting. And he's got Medusa with him. Medusa pre-nose job, by the way. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, I didn't notice.
I was like, oh my, that's a nose I haven't seen before. And yeah, we find out that the Phantom is Rick Rude. Shocking. And kind of a forgettable thing. I guess, they're obviously setting up Rick Rude versus Sting, but I don't even know if that happened like very soon after this, because I looked at what Starrcade was all about, the next pay-per-view, and it was all just like random ass tag team matches. So they didn't feud then. Maybe it was on TV or something, but I would have been interested in Rick Rude versus Sting. I feel like, did we see that match on a previous thing that we watched? Maybe.
No, we've watched so much, it's getting crazy. But
it all blends together.
Rick gave a little promo about how he only cares about 3 things: his self, his women, and his money. Yeah. So, that's an easy way to get some heat. And then we have Ron Simmons training
his Rocky montage.
Yeah, training for football on his old campus or some shit. You're just like, dude, you're a wrestler.
He's an All-American.
Yeah, but you're like a wrestler now. Why are you training football? Like, what is happening? Like, this is really like, do what you did like 7 years ago. Like, show us what it's like. He's like wearing the colors of his school and stuff.
Yeah, and doing all kinds of football drills. And then his coach talks about him. I also could not hear what his coach was saying at all. Like, the sound was horrible for this for whatever reason. But yes.
WCW like eventually, has all this money to get all this talent. A lot of money. That's what they're known for. Ted Turner was like, fuck Vince McMahon, let's just pay way more.
Not now, apparently.
But they never really had the production. Even when they had all that money for the wrestlers, like the production was never that slick.
No, it was always kind of gritty. I mean, at this point, it feels like pretty cheap and hokey, but 95, 96, there was sort of an edge to it. Like it was polished from what we're watching now.
Yeah.
But it certainly has never been the level of WWF's production. Absolutely.
Yeah. It seems like something you could buy. It seems like something they could have afforded, but maybe, I don't know. They just figured that was good enough for wrestling, I guess.
I don't know. Yeah. Who's to say? But yeah, so the Ron Simmons football training led to the main event. Ron Simmons with Dusty Rhodes in his corner for one night only, they were very quick to say.
Oh, yes.
Against Lex Luger with Harley Race in his corner. And this was for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And it was a 2 out of 3 falls match. I guess apparently the first 2 out of 3 falls main event that had ever happened in the WCW pay-per-view, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. And
I didn't recognize this belt. Did you like, was that belt reminiscent of your childhood? Because I just know the big gold one, like Hogan spray painted over and stuff, but I did not recognize this one at all.
Yeah, I don't recall too much about this belt. But I mean, this era is kind of, I like it a lot, but it's not what I was watching. I was watching like WWF on like Saturdays.
Okay.
And then when Raw came out, I was watching Raw from the beginning.
Yeah.
So like
they definitely are going with the sports-based presentation here. Through a lot of the matches, they were like, JR was like, so-and-so's ranked number 4th in the world, and this person's number 5. And I'm like, according to who?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of that. You were having two guys that were closely ranked with each other. 2 out of 3 falls, though. This was kind of interesting. I mean,
yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, the crowd was super hyped. They really wanted Simmons to win. Luger was getting reactions too. It wasn't really getting completely booed the entire time, but clearly people were more on Simmons' side. And I liked the match. I thought it had good pacing. Simmons won the first fall pretty quickly with, I think, his like shoulder tackle thing, and Luger, was like selling his back. They had these minute-long breaks in between the falls.
I like that.
Like a boxing match. That was kind of funny.
I like the break where they could go to the corner and Dusty could tell Simmons like, all right, I'm not going to try to impersonate him, but yeah.
You got it, baby. Just keep on the pressure.
Yeah.
And then Race just doesn't say anything. He just stares at Luger.
Because nowadays it's like when you do an Iron Man match or
2 out of 3 falls, it just goes right into it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can pin him and then let him go and pin him again, I mean, kind of in theory, right? But you should break it up. You should have a reason where like, okay, they've regained their strength. Otherwise, why not?
It gets a little silly. I mean, I did like in the MJF Bryan Danielson Iron Man match, they actually kind of made what you just said like part of the match, where MJF, like, I think he like kicked Danielson in the nuts, and so he lost the first fall, but then he pinned Danielson and got the second fall immediately because of the nut shot. Like that, when you use it like as part of the match, that's cool. But
use it for your own benefit, or you get same thing. Like, I guess that works really well for DQ. You can hit somebody with a foreign object or do a low blow.
You lose a pin, but you get the pin right back.
Right. And in theory, they're pretty injured from that. So,
yeah.
I mean, these are two like greased up, big ass, muscly ex-football players. So, I mean, it looks like proper fucking wrestling.
Yeah. And Luger, again, like, I know I said I didn't think Luger was all that great, but he was good. There was nothing really to complain about. He was selling his back from the first fall for like a pretty long time. And it looked like Simmons was, really going to have an advantage. But then like Luger ducked out of the way of a tackle, and then he got the advantage. And it was just a good back and forth. It really built up the tension and the excitement. Eventually, Harley Race grabs Simmons' leg, and Dusty shows up to punch Harley in the face, and the crowd loved that. I did not like the second fall, which was
DQ, right?
Over the top rope bullshit. Yeah. So Luger wins the second fall because he, quote, gets thrown over the top rope, but basically
he threw himself off that top rope.
Yeah, like he came towards Simmons, and Simmons was like ready to basically like throw him over his head, but also it kind of looked like Simmons was going to go over the top rope as well. And Harley Race grabbed Simmons' tights so he didn't go over the top rope. And so then the ref was like, "Oh, well, that's a DQ." And I was like, "Oh my God, this shit again." Like, this is the one thing I didn't like about early 90s WCW is this, like, you get disqualified if you get thrown over the top, or the person who throws somebody over the top rope gets disqualified.
Right.
Like, shit's dumb.
At least they didn't have the no jumping off of a rope higher than the second
Oh
rope.
my God, that was awful too. Yeah.
That was short-lived, but stupid rules. Luger got busted open at one point. There was some blood there.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Did he, like, I totally missed it, but yeah, he got a little cut under his eye or something, or on top of his eye.
And I like that superplex. Always a good move off the top. Was that the top? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Simmons superplexed Lex, and so that, he didn't help for the whole back situation. Lex was.
Yeah, they sold the back thing pretty well. It looked like Simmons, had a real shot. They went out to the outside of the ring, and Simmons' fatal error. He went for a shoulder tackle on Luger, but Luger got out of the way, and Simmons hits his shoulder on the ring post. And this was the downfall of Simmons. Eventually, Luger got him in a pile driver, and that was the third fall.
Yeah.
And Luger retains.
Yeah, this kind of set up Ron Simmons for where he would go eventually. He didn't win tonight, but
he does eventually win the championship, right? Like pretty soon.
Within a year, he would become the first black champion of WCW.
Nice.
A feat only accomplished by feat only reached by him and Booker T.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So smallest black champions, and they didn't make him. I mean, they certainly made him look good. They made it look like he got kind of screwed. So
yeah, which felt appropriate, right? Luger's the bad guy. He's wins through shady means. So that was the pay-per-view. Since it was your choice, what is your grapple grade, sir?
Let's see. So it was a bizarre mix. It was what I asked for. A bizarre mix of gimmicks and legit good wrestling. Particularly like Austin Rhodes, Luger, Simmons. I know it's historically remembered for the awful Chamber of Horrors and Rick Rude's debut. Wrestling's always fun for me to watch. I feel like it doesn't get a whole lot worse than this, though, as far as like zooming out, right? A couple matches, but we had like 13 of them, right?
Yeah.
So our rating system is fast forward, play, rewind, fast forward being boo, play being yay, and rewind being, 2 thumbs up. I think that's going to be the fast forward. If you really want to see the electrocution, like just the ridiculousness of it, you can see the clips there. And I mean, if you just want to know what's up and just see everything like we do, then go ahead and watch it. But I think you could easily find a better pay-per-view, probably an easier Halloween Havoc a better Halloween Havoc than this, if you wanted to save yourself 2.5 hours. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I give it a fast forward as well. It had 3 solid matches. It had a main event that the crowd was invested in that wasn't bad, but it just felt like a stinker overall. I mean, the bad was bad enough where I was like, I don't think anyone really needs to watch this. Like, if you want to see these people, the ones that actually stood the test of time, you can see them in other things. You're definitely not missing anything fantastic here. So I give it a fast forward as well.
I agree.
Oh, what did Meltzer give the main event?
Oh, we should check that out. He gave it a 3, which I going by his system, I think he could have done a little bit more than that on this one.
Maybe like a 3.25.
Yeah, he could have gone
3.5.
But yeah, I mean, as always, if you like what you hear on this episode, you can leave us a review. You can call in 626-657-SLAM.
Pick up the phone.
Cut a promo on us. Tell us what we're right about, what we're wrong about, what pay-per-views you've gone to in the past that you'd like us to cover. We're always open to new ideas. We always love to hear from you. All right, I got an email here. Danny from Clearwater, Florida. He wrote a big old email. I will read most of it and paraphrase some of it. Hey, Grapple City Rewind, long-time listener. We haven't been on that long, dude. Figured it was time to write in. I was actually there live in Daytona Beach for WCW Bash at the Beach in 96. And I swear that night changed how I looked at wrestling forever. If you haven't covered it, this one is begging for full GCR deep dive. Okay, I know what he's talking about, the whole third man thing.
Mm-hmm.
He lists the good and the bad. He says the atmosphere was electric. Everyone was buzzing about the third man. Undercard, surprisingly solid. He says there's a Rey Mysterio Psychosis match that tore it up. That's one of those matches you realize years later was the future of wrestling taking shape in front of you. Production-wise, having it right on the beach gave it such a distinct look. Sunset over the ocean, palm trees swaying, fireworks bursting. Felt like a rock concert more than a wrestling show. Mid-card on the bad side, the mid-card pacing was all over the place. A few matches dragged, and that it was hard to see because the way that it was set up when he was in the crowd. But he says this one defined the era shift, and it's the night wrestling turned edgy, unpredictable. Between the atmosphere, the work rate of Ray and Psychosis, and the sheer shock of Hogan dropping the leg. This is GCR Gold. Keep up the killer work, fellas. Dan from Clearwater, a proud member of the Grapple Gang, he said.
Nice. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, I know this one. I've seen it quite a few times. I do like how we've, managed to not see Hulk Hogan in a while.
Yeah.
I hate you.
But you can't avoid him for too long. So I'm not opposed. I mean, like I said, I kind of like to watch the summer stuff in the summer, but
Yeah, we'll add it to the list. We'll definitely cover it.
we'll get to them all eventually. Shit. We're 21 in and probably only a few thousand left.
Yeah,
Peacock doesn't cut us off.
hopefully.
anytime soon. So this one was my call. That would make the next one your call, Aaron. Have you decided what we're going to watch for the next episode?
I have, and I've caved to your peer pressure. I'm picking an October pay-per-view since it is the month of October.
Yes.
We're going to watch No Mercy 2001. Yes, sir. Thank you, Rick. Rick is not in this, but he's there in spirit. This has a lot of notable names. We've got the main event is Stone Cold versus Kurt Angle versus Rob Van Dam
Oh, wow.
in a triple threat match. We got Jericho versus The Rock, Undertaker versus Booker T. Yep. The Hardy Boys against Lance Storm and the Hurricane.
Oh, that's...
Edge versus Christian.
Oh, wow.
APA versus Chris Kanyon and Hugh Morris. I don't know who Hugh Morris is, but this was the era where it was like WWF against WCW/ECW. They were called the Alliance.
Oh.
So, yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff.
It's like right after they kind of bought everything and they were trying to do a play on that.
Yeah. So, got the Dudley Boys, got Kane, Billy Kidman is in this one, who I haven't seen in a while. Actually, is that a... Oh, it was on Sunday Night Heat. Never mind.
I don't know what that one was for.
Just for the shits and gigs. Yeah, so it's a fun one. It's an October one. People seem to like it. They think the internet says it's one of the better October pay-per-views for WWF. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, that's all the time we got for now. Don't forget to give us a call, 626-657-SLAM. You can always email us your thoughts and suggestions. We're grapplecitypod@gmail.com. We are also Grapple City Pod on TikTok, on Instagram, on X and Threads and all that stuff. We're probably more on Instagram than anything else, but we always love to hear from you.
Yes, we'll catch you in the cheap seats. Bye all.